Hello and welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we haven't seen. I'm one of your hosts, Betsy. With me, as always, is my husband, Trent.
Hey there.
You're my co-host.
Yes.
So today, we're going to be watching a movie that, once again, neither of us has seen.
Mm-hmm.
We are watching Edge of Tomorrow.
What's it called?
It's called All You Need Is Kill.
What's it called?
It's called Live, Die, Repeat.
Okay.
These are all real alternative titles for this film, but the one they stuck with was Edge of Tomorrow.
For at least this territory.
I'm sorry, but All You Need Is Kill is a vastly superior title.
It seems like it's something from Japan.
Or, yeah, something like that.
I think it might actually be the title in Japan. I don't know.
Maybe.
But, Betsy, we have been thinking about and talking about and wanting to watch this movie since it came out.
It's true. We didn't have a whole lot of interest in it in the theater, but then we've heard since then that people really seem to like it.
Yeah, it's kind of a bonkers thing, and from my understanding, it's a video game movie that isn't based on any kind of video game stuff. Because it takes concepts from video games, like you live, you die, and then you're alive again.
You respawn.
Yeah, it's a lot of that stuff.
And this is also kind of a time loop movie, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, what else do you know about this movie?
I mean, it's Tom Cruise, it is Emily Blunt, and I think Emily Blunt is Tom Cruise's, like, person that he gets the information about this world from.
So, like, is he the one who is conscious of the fact that he's repeating and no one else is?
He doesn't know it going in, but
or
I think
is she the
she's the one who
tells him?
tells him this is what's happening and this is how you get by.
Okay. And so we're probably going to see a whole lot of, guns ablaze.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same sequence over and over and over again with slight changes.
Right. I know they wear, like, suits, like mechanized suits that they use for combat.
And
it's very much a Matrix 3 thing.
Big guns.
Yeah.
Very big,
but like,
comedically large video game guns.
Right, and like, I don't know what the story is, or like if this is in a very, very fictionalized future, is it on Earth, are these humans? I have no idea.
Those are all valid questions, and I don't know the answer to any of them, because it's weird, because I don't remember how this movie performed in the theater.
No.
They've never done a sequel. I've never really heard them talk about this in retrospect, but
No.
I know a few people who really like this movie.
Right, and it's like, it's not really talked about in the pantheon of Tom Cruise movies.
No, this is kind of all he does now, is these kind of sci-fi action adventure.
Well, remember the movie...
This is his bread and butter.
Remember the movie Oblivion?
Yep.
And we really liked that one. Again,
It was okay.
It was a movie that didn't really make a big splash.
Nope.
But it had a few good people in it, and it had good, like, critical reception that it may not have translated to the box office numbers. And again, I don't give a shit about box office numbers. I don't care. I care about watching good movies. Whether or not it performs well at the theaters, I don't give a shit.
And there's a difference between a good movie and a movie you like. It could be trash. This movie might be awful.
And Betsy,
but if we enjoy it, who cares?
As we are sitting here, the new Jurassic Park movie is in the theater.
Yep.
It's got like a fucking 30% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh.
And apparently it is just complete trash, but it is going to make so much money.
It is, because they're going balls to the walls.
Yeah, they're bringing back the old stars from the original Jurassic Park.
I'm excited about that one. And then you told me about the rating it's got.
Yeah.
It's like, so what you're saying is this movie has a lot of problems.
Right. It's like one of the worst reviewed movies that is going to make a buttload of money.
It's going to make $1 billion in the next, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah.
Not because it's good. And this movie came and went. Really, the only reason we haven't watched it, I think, is because it came and went. And it's not the kind of thing we go to in the theater.
And I'll say this. I remember back to when we went to see In Time. We've talked about In Time a few times. That movie is all concept. And it doesn't stick the landing, but it's a fantastic concept. This movie might be kind of that.
Right.
Where it is a very novel kind of a thing. It's
Like,
a
just
novel
interesting.
concept. Yeah. But whether or not they execute on the storytelling and the ending and whatever else remains to be seen.
Well, any other thoughts? Anybody else you know? The director? I don't
I
really
know
have a lot
nothing
of
else.
information
I
going
know
in.
nothing else except, I'm sorry, was scrolling through some of the cast. Bill Paxton is in this.
Really?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what his role is. I mean, it was probably one of his last roles.
Yeah.
At least that he was known for.
2014 this came out, so
2014,
probably.
yeah.
Well, okay. We're going in fairly blind then, it sounds like, but
Yeah.
we're going to go and watch Edge of Tomorrow.
What?
And we're going to go and watch Live, Die, Repeat.
Excuse me?
We're going to go and watch All You Need Is Kill, and we will be right back. And we're back. Another time loop movie, Trent.
Yeah.
We like these.
We do, and this was really cool.
I think this was a totally solid action movie.
Yeah. An action sci-fi movie with, no real, property that they're, grafting onto it.
No.
It's just an original thing that works. It works all the way through.
Yeah, I think this was enjoyable. It was funny. It was kind of a different movie at the beginning for Tom Cruise to be in, the kind of different character.
Yes, where he's like a bumbling fool, a coward.
He was a
kind of guy.
coward.
And like you said, I was not expecting the humor here.
No, this was a lot funnier than I probably anticipated.
Yeah, I thought it was going to, have the moments for the audience where, you're going to get the winks and nods to the previous cycles, let's say. But yeah, it was super funny.
Yeah, I like this one. I noticed at the end that this is written by Christopher McQuarrie, and I immediately was like, okay, I know that name. Why do I know that name? He is the guy who wrote The Usual Suspects.
Mm-hmm.
More recently, he's basically Tom Cruise's go-to writer, because we've talked about this before. Tom Cruise, at this point in his career, is very involved in his own projects. He is a producer, which means he has a lot of say about what he does and doesn't do.
Right.
And Christopher McQuarrie wrote Valkyrie, starring Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote The Mummy, starring Tom Cruise. Yeah. He has written several Mission Impossible movies. And as I mentioned, The Usual Suspects. So that predates his Tom Cruise era, but he is certainly his go-to now.
And he's involved in the new Maverick movie, right?
Yeah, he wrote that too.
Yeah. So, very much has been Tom Cruise's, at least, writing partner, producing partner, things like that. So, yeah. Just out the gate, this is a time loop movie, as we have discussed before. Mm-hmm. I did not know it was that much of a time loop movie, but yeah. It's where we're getting the same, this is turning into a movie trope at this point. So, we're in 2014. When did all these other ones come out?
Well, it's like every so many years we get a time loop movie, it feels like.
Recently, yeah. The concept
one,
is novel enough that there hasn't been a ton of them before this era.
Right, but everybody's always trying to make it their own. Like we talked about in Groundhog Day, there's no real reason for why it's happening. It's just happening.
Yeah.
In Palm Springs, they gave you a reason. In this, they give you a reason. Mm-hmm. So the premise here
and it doesn't have to make sense. They just have to give it to you.
Yeah, so the premise here is the planet has been under attack by an alien life form.
Yeah.
And they have this big, Normandy Beach style invasion that's about to happen that they say is going to turn the tide. But when they get there, Tom Cruise dies. And he dies by killing this different looking alien. It's all blue and big and seems to be different from the rest of the little minions. And it gets his blood all over Tom Cruise, and then he wakes up and starts the day again.
Yeah. So we get a little bit of that information, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. They just have to like say something, saying, "Oh yeah, this happened to me. This is what happened," and they have some kind of power over time.
And it's just a neural network, so all of these aliens are connected.
Think about Independence Day.
Yeah, so now he is like a part of the network. So it's just that sci-fi thing of, we have written one line of dialogue to explain this concept that's actually kind of difficult to explain, so we're just going to do it quickly and not explain it. Yeah, we don't get a reason for why these aliens are there.
Nope.
They kind of, again, say something about they're just trying to take over. They're parasites. They're going to take over.
And they even talk about it. When he goes to the bar, like the old guys are saying, well, they're here for minerals. No, they're here for this. It doesn't matter. It's a sci-fi movie. It doesn't matter. There's going to be nothing after this. There's not a sequel.
Nope.
So it can live on its own. But, of course, as an audience member, you maybe want to know a little bit more about where they come from and what else happens. But we don't get that, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, they don't do a whole lot of world building, but this is such a blow it up, do it again, kick ass, just go out there and fuck shit up movie that you don't need it. It's more than like a campy action movie, but it's less than a well thought out sci-fi movie, but it's entertaining.
This is not hard sci-fi in the least bit. It is, so let's just get into it here. We're present day, let's say, to a point. We spend the entire movie in Europe, in one country or another.
Yep.
And we have these news programs saying there's a meteor that fell to Earth in Europe. Aliens started coming out and killing people.
And spreading
all around
over.
Europe.
So they've basically taken over all of Europe at this point.
And from the time that it happens to present day in the movie, it's been about 5 years. They're about to take the offensive after having like one big battle that they won.
Yep, and the battle that they won was won by Emily Blunt's character, Rita something or other.
Rita.
And they have these suits that can, shoot guns faster. They make them stronger. They protect them. They don't really explain it. They're like, they have these suits, and she kills 100 aliens in minutes.
Yeah, they say, oh yeah, they become super soldiers.
And she is now this poster child for, join the military and be a badass like her.
Right.
And they have a nickname for her, the Full Metal Bitch, which is a terrible, crude nickname.
It's terrible.
That is such a dudes came up with that one.
I guess.
And they only use it a few times, and she clearly does not care for that nickname.
No.
But she's like this poster child, and Tom Cruise is a major who basically goes on TV as a spokesperson to talk about the war effort.
Yeah. So in the before the war, he had an ad agency. So his job was trying to sell people on whatever it was that his clients were trying to sell.
Yep.
So he is recruited by the U.S. military to sell the war and to sell the military and this new offensive that they're going to launch.
Yep, and it's like all of the military is now one military. It's not branches. It's the United Defense Force or something like that.
Right. Everybody on Earth is together. The U.S. military is defending all of Europe.
Yep, and it's not Army, Navy. It's just the military.
I guess. But we're like treated to a whole lot of like news footage of what's been happening since the meteor struck Earth, I guess. We get, and I love when movies and TV shows do this, where they get real life reporters and like
Yep.
on-screen talent from like CNN and MSNBC and all these other
Real
places.
news people that
Real
you've seen
journalists,
on TV.
real journalists who liken themselves actors because they want to be on the big screen, of course.
Yeah, they get asked and they go,
Wolf-
of course.
Wolf Blitzer is game to be in any one of your stupid ass
Well,
movies.
God, how many credits does Larry King have? That dude in the
Sure.
90s was in every movie under the sun.
Right. Dude would not say no to a to an appearance check.
No, he would not. And that is how you build yourself an empire in that
Sure.
racket.
But yeah, I love when that happens. So like Tom Cruise's character Cage is his. Why don't I?
Major William Cage.
William. I didn't even get his first name.
Oh,
Anyway,
they don't even really say it much. They show it on the screen.
Major Cage.
Yes, that's his name.
Did you ever see Major Payne
I did.
with Damon Wayans?
I have seen that movie a few times.
One of my brothers actually gave me that movie when I was a kid, just as like a birthday present. He showed up one day.
Okay.
It was kind of a strange thing, but I watched that movie quite a few times.
It's really stupid. Like,
It
It's
is.
90s funny,
For a
but
kids
it's
movie,
stupid.
Damon Wayans trying to be like the almost squeaky clean comic actor. But anyway, we're not talking about Major Payne today.
We're talking about Major Cage, Tom
Yes.
Cruise.
So he is going on all these news shows, basically having the talking points from the military. And they even like pointed out like he is saying the same lines over and over and over again to try to sell this stuff.
This is a finely, what is the word?
It's a recruitment.
An audience tested.
Yeah, it is a
Market
recruitment
analytics.
method. Yes.
They
It
know
is-
the words.
Yeah, they're trying to recruit people to volunteer for the military. So he goes out there and is selling the hell out of this thing, saying that there's going to be a big offensive and blah, blah, blah. So,
But he is not himself a soldier.
no.
He's in the military.
Correct. And of course, during this time in history, there's no need for an ad agency.
No, the world is falling apart around
Yeah.
you. The only thing you need to advertise is the military.
Exactly. So they recruit his talents for this thing, and then he gets called to London, where like base command is. Mm-hmm. So who is it? Brendan Gleeson is the general.
Yep, he's running this operation.
Yeah. So he is calling him in there and saying, you know what? I'm gonna put you on the front lines, basically.
Aren't you lucky?
Right.
You get to film some people being fucking heroes.
Which I don't understand why they would have him do this. Like, they are putting him in the actual soldier gear. They're putting him in the suits. And to go out there on the front lines to do battle. Is the intention of the general to actually go out there and have him film things and take back footage to encourage people to keep on joining up? Like, is the him being on TV portion of his career over and they want him to do other stuff? Or is, like, why him? Why is he chosen to be on the front lines here?
I think at the beginning, it was exactly that. He genuinely is going to go get some footage and drum up recruits. That's the whole point. But then he goes into his office and acts like a prick.
I guess maybe that's what was the intention, and then he says, no, I'm respectfully declining your direct order, General.
Yep, I called your commanding officer.
Right.
You are under my command. He
Yes.
has transferred it to me.
He is trying to pull out every single excuse and other reason that he could squeal out of this thing.
Yep, but because he's a coward, he just keeps pointing out, I got into this line of work, so I didn't have to fight.
Right.
Because I don't do that. I am not trained. I am not a soldier. No.
Right.
Goodbye. You'll do the right thing here, right? And he blackmails him.
Tries to blackmail him and says, oh, well, if I do this and I just happen to get a bunch of footage and everybody dies, I will be very good at selling the fact that it was your fault.
Yep.
And regardless of, the consequence of, well, if we lose this battle, humanity is doomed.
Yeah, he is out for himself as somebody in this position this kind of a person would be.
Right.
And fails spectacularly.
Yeah.
Because he goes, okay, whatever you say,
all right,
arrest him. He's
Yeah.
under arrest.
Yeah.
He's basically, deserting. He is defying orders.
Right.
So they zap him, they cuff him, and they send him to the front anyway.
Yeah. So he wakes up at the FOB, the Forward Operating Base.
Is that what that is?
Yes, that's what that is. So the current conditions are they're in lockdown. This is like a couple of days or a day before the big invasion, which they're basically doing another Normandy landing, which is to say they are invading France.
Yep.
They're loading up in their planes, loading up in their gear, and flying over to France to get on the beach.
Tomorrow.
The next day, yeah.
Yep, and you will participate, good sir.
Right. So he wakes up and is addressed by some dude who is trying to wake him up and say, hey, you need to wake up and
Keeps
fall in
calling
line.
him a maggot.
So, and this is where we get introduced to Bill Paxton. Mm-hmm. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Bill Paxton. He's not an American. He's from Kentucky.
He was really good in this, even if his accent wasn't all the way there.
His accent was absurd, and he is just spouting his lines as dedicated a fashion as you could possibly imagine.
Yes.
He is aggrandizing his
did his
speech.
job. He
Yes.
did his job.
And of course, Tom Cruise, again, his character wasn't expected to go out there and fight, I don't think, but because he refused to go,
Right.
now he has to. He
Right.
has been reduced to a private. He has lost his rank, and he is going to go out there with the rest of the grunts
Yep.
and do it.
And Bill Paxton has a letter in his pocket saying, this is who this is. This is what he's going to be doing now.
And he-
your
yeah.
job is to get him out there. And this is maybe a way to just kind of brush him aside so he doesn't do what he's threatening to do.
Yeah, and so he's introduced to the J Squad,
Yep.
the kind of not
The fodder.
the
Just
fodder.
say it.
Yeah.
They're the fodder.
I was gonna say it's not like they're the D team or anything.
They seem like it.
They're kind of depicted as a bunch of schmucks, but they're game for fighting. We find out later, and they all know what they're doing out there. One of them goes out pantsless because he has to be free,
Sure.
but they all do that thing where they've been assigned this idiot and they'll do their job, but they're not going to work that hard to keep him alive. So nobody tells him a damn thing. Like,
Well,
he doesn't even know how to use this suit. They
all
refuse to tell him the safety.
They all get the story about him being a deserting officer.
Yep.
He's wearing an officer's uniform. Mm-hmm. They even say as much, saying you're out of uniform after they get their task. So if you are depicted as a deserter, but you're still in there,
And we're stuck with you now.
and the other soldiers who volunteered for this thing, probably, they're out there saying, no, nobody's going to be watching your back, you damn coward.
Yeah, screw you.
Yeah.
We'll follow orders, but when we get out there, it's all you, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, something's wrong with your suit. It's got a dead guy in it.
So there's a part in here where when they go into the bunker, the people in the J Squad are playing poker.
Yeah.
And the commanding officer does not care for poker.
Yes.
And his response to this...
Gambling.
His gambling, yes.
Yes.
Is to make them eat a card.
Yep.
So he picks up the deck, he makes them take one, and they all start eating cards.
And they know what to do.
This is not the first time this has happened, clearly.
Yeah.
What was that?
I mean, it's a punishment without actually being a harsh punishment.
It is a very strange choice.
All right.
And the fact that they all just do it without argument, without question, like he leaves and they continue to chomp down.
Right. Even the I didn't get any of their names, but the woman in the group, she, yeah, like you said, after he leaves, she's like giving Tom Cruise the business and saying, and like putting it in her mouth as she's doing it. Like,
Yep.
yeah, I need to eat this thing. So I mean, I guess if he were to come around again and search the place, if she had like discarded it somewhere, discarded, discarded it somewhere without eating it, he would know.
I guess. It's such a weird power move. Like, there's a lot of examples of this, especially in military movies, about a power move.
Sure, you gotta do whatever the commanding officer says, otherwise your entire group gets punished.
Yeah, but this one is weird.
It is the weirdest one I've seen in depicted in a movie. Yes.
Absolutely. And yeah, they go out there, they load him up, they are just giving him hell, and they're like dangling over these things. They're all kind of suspended over a big hole, and they're going to be dropped down on wires. But before
That's the idea.
That's the idea. But before they get there, they're under attack, and half the plane blows up. So it's all just, from the get-go, a bad plan because they're like losing people left and right. They're falling at the wrong time. They're hitting things. They're all on fire. It just goes to hell very quickly.
Right. And they don't give Cage like any kind of instruction as to how to actually use the machinery he's hooked up to.
Nope.
Doesn't know how to turn the safety off. Doesn't know how to eject out of the plane. Doesn't really know anything.
No, and so he lands with a thud, and then it's carnage. Everybody is getting fucked up on this beach. There's planes crashing, and aliens come out. And of course, we're like 20 minutes into the movie, and they keep referring to mimics.
Sure.
But we have yet to see one.
Right.
So that is one of the things about this movie I actually liked was, we're a full 20 minutes. I don't know who the enemy is.
No, they're not like on the news programs. They're not showing footage of them.
Nope.
They're really talking about what these creatures are.
They don't have like the war room scene where they're like, this is your objective, man.
This is your enemy.
And here he is, and look him good in the eye.
Right.
We don't get any of that. It's just, we show up, and until they're like in a pit being attacked, we don't see them.
Yeah, and one of them comes up from the sand, and then that's where all hell breaks loose.
Yep. But as I mentioned, everybody in his unit gets slaughtered, and he is the last one there, and he sees this bigger blue one, and when he kills it, he manages somehow to turn his safety off, and he kills it, but dies in the process.
No. What happens is he shoots some of them, some of the regular ass ones, but he grabs, like they depict earlier in the movie, somebody tapes a claymore mine to the front of their suit. You know what a claymore is?
I mean, a bomb of some kind.
It is basically something that you put in, think of like a landmine.
Okay.
But it's got a sensor in front of it that if you walk in front of it, it's going to blow up.
Is that what happened at that? I remember there being an explosion, but I didn't think it was that part of the movie.
So some other dude taped a claymore to their front. He grabbed it and basically armed it in front of him, Tom Cruise does. As the blue guy gets over to him, then it blows up with him with it.
Okay.
So the alpha, we find out later, the blue guy, gets the blood all over Tom Cruise's dead carcass, which, by the way, for a movie that doesn't really have a lot of like, blood or carnage or anything, that looked fucked up. His dead body, his dead face.
It looked like he was all burned in acid.
Yeah. Like the holes in his face. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But of course, he ain't dead. He wakes up exactly where he was, confused.
Yeah.
And like, what's happening?
And we start over. We start over the exact same thing. And, he kind of goes through some things. And this being the second time through, he's learned a few things. He learned how to turn his safety off. He learned everybody's names. He learned some of the phrases that Bill Paxton says.
Yep. And he tries to warn people, but he's like, no, this is all going to happen, and I know what's going on. But they duct tape his mouth and tell him to shut up and get out there.
Well, yeah, that one doesn't happen until I think the third time.
It's near the beginning, though.
Right. But he doesn't actually have that entire thing memorized yet until like the third or fourth time.
Fair enough.
But whatever, it doesn't matter. So unlike the fourth or fifth time going out there, he comes across Rita, where she's out there being a badass, and she actually gets killed in front of him. And he finally, he recognizes who she is, and he makes it a point to go to her the next time because apparently she's really good at what she does. But then I don't remember how he what he says or what he does.
Basically, one of the times, this is clearly not the first nor the second, it's enough times that he knows exactly where the enemies are and where they're going to be, and he's telling her information about what's going to happen before it happens.
And there's no way that he would have known that all these enemies are going to be around him and when they're going to be there, except he's like shooting behind him, shooting to the side of him without even looking, things like that, when he's just trying to talk to her.
And yeah, she just basically says, find me the next time you wake up.
I know exactly what's happening. We're going to blow up now, but come and find me the next time you wake up.
Yep. And it just occurred to me, this is a total non sequitur, that her name is Rita. Do you remember the name of Andie MacDowell in Groundhog Day?
No.
Her name is Rita Trent.
All right.
I hadn't thought about that until just this moment.
All right.
Something about that name.
Whether that is intentional or not, I don't know.
I feel like there's maybe a wink there in the very least.
Fair enough.
But in any case, she figures out what's going on with him and says, find me. So the next time he wakes up, he tries to escape his routine to try to find her on the base.
I think the funniest part of the movie is when he thinks that he knows what he's doing. When he's
trying to figure it out.
Rolling out of the way underneath the truck that is going by, and then he gets squished. And Bill Paxton says, "What on earth were you trying to do, man?
What were you thinking? You dumb bastard."
And here's this guy.
And this is a squish, and he's gone. That is a great moment.
When it doesn't immediately cut back to him waking up, when they're allowed to have the reaction.
Yes. You get to see in real time what other people thought about what just happened.
Yes, those are the best times.
So it finally does work. He finally rolls at the right moment and escapes and is able to get her and give her the spiel about, I know what's happening and you told me to find you.
Right.
And we find out that the same thing happened to her.
Yeah.
Through the course of this, it all again, because this is this kind of movie, I don't remember the exact sequence of when she is giving him what information.
Sure, because it's all kind of concentrated. Like they cut
15
out
minutes.
Yeah, they cut out like probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times that he would have needed to go through these sequences to make it all work.
Yep, and each time he gets a little farther than the time before.
Right.
But we basically find out that he was in the presence of this alpha.
Yeah.
And they talk about there's an alpha, but there's also an omega.
Right.
And this species is connected by a neural network. They're all one organism, basically. And the alpha I was trying to figure this out. So the omega can reset the day, right? Or is it the alpha can reset the day? I was trying to understand this.
The alpha resets the day. The omega controls everything.
The omega...
It's like the brain of everything.
Kind of predicts the future or something. Because the whole thing is, they knew they were going to be on the beach. Right. That's why everything goes to hell.
Yeah. And they're basically... We are revealed here that they're basically tricking the humans into thinking that they have the upper hand. Mm-hmm. That's why Rita's character was able to win at that last battle.
Because they let her.
Because they let her win to get the confidence up of the rest of the military.
Right. But we get all these details, and basically she was having visions where they're trying to find him, and they're feeding him information, and they get it in their head that there is this omega, and it's in Germany at this like dam underground thing, and they have to figure out how to get there. And then it's just a huge sequence of just getting a little farther every time. Like he keeps finding her, he keeps explaining what's going on, she buys it. They go out on the battlefield, and he says turn left and she dies. He says turn right and she dies. Go forward and then turn left and she dies.
Yeah.
And this happens over and over and over and over and over again.
And what they also mention here, and I think it's a good point, they explain to him, when you're out there, make sure you die.
Yes.
Because if you don't die and you wake up later, you get strapped to a gurney and brought to a hospital. If they replace your blood, you're done.
Because that's what happened to me.
Yeah, you don't have the power anymore.
He also makes a point to say, well, shit, I don't know what I'm doing because I'm not a soldier. And she says, I'll train you, and commence the training sequence. And we just get a whole lot of, again, humorous moments where they have these machines that kind of fly around to train you in your suit. And he breaks his back and he breaks his leg.
I can only feel my lips.
And he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. And she's like, your leg is... Yeah. And it's just... shooting him in the head. She kills him and she kills him and she kills him.
I appreciate a movie that will play with their main characters dying.
Yes.
Whether they actually die or not. I think that's really funny.
And there's a good balance in this movie of several takes that are slightly different.
Yeah.
And then using the same take over and over and over again. There's a good balance.
They do that a lot with the Bill Paxton character.
Yes.
He is like walking down the hallway addressing all of his men, and especially at the very end, he's walking by and J-Squad isn't there. Where the hell is the J-Squad?
So yeah, there's a lot of humor in it, and it's that thing you talked about where it's like a video game where you're just making slow progression. He gets a little farther every time. He learns more information every time. There is... he's leveling up, as it were. This is called grinding, Trent.
No. In modern parlance, this is actually called a roguelike.
A roguelike. Explain.
So you know what Dark Souls is.
Oh, I am well versed in Dark Souls. I have watched you play hundreds of hours of this just brutal game that torments you.
So not only do you level up your character in like, hey, I'm stronger, hey, I have more health and things like that. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. But your skill level is really what counts. Like, knowing when to press the buttons and when you need to press them. The same enemies spawn for you to kill every single time that you die. You can get, 50% of the way all through the game, but if you die, you go all the way back.
Yep, you get reset.
You get 13% of the way into the game, you die, you will go all the way back and it resets. So that's what's happening here.
And there's checkpoints along the way to move you further. And he's basically hit these checkpoints, and that's as far as he's ever gotten.
And he is... And what I like is like the manual reset. Like, okay, I'm done here. I'm going to go back.
Yep, he just blows his brains out, or someone kills him, or he jumps in front of a car, or whatever he needs to do to start the day again, because he is able to do that. He is the key to this whole thing.
Right.
But he has to make sure he dies. And we keep getting different versions where they finally get off the beach and they get a van and they get out of the beach area and they go to a farmhouse and they find a helicopter.
Right, and you have to like eventually get it in your brain that they're not just doing this on one take, let's say.
Right.
They're not doing it in one attempt. He will reveal throughout that, okay, yes, I find the keys over here to the helicopter. Yes, there's a shirt over here for you.
I've got coffee. Oh, you like 3 sugars.
You like 3 sugars. And they have the conversation about the middle name stuff in the car on the way over. There's so many different times that they have done this, but we as the audience don't get to see that.
Until he says, yeah, we've done this before.
We've done this many times.
She kind of figures out, how many times have we gotten this far?
Right.
Where are the keys? Let's go. And he keeps saying no because you're going to die.
Yeah, every
and at some
time.
point he becomes invested. This is where like they try to introduce the love story portion where he starts to learn things about her and get to know her. So he cares because she believes him and they bond. Call it war buddies, call it sexual attraction. I don't know. But he is invested in her. He doesn't want her to die. And every single time he's tried it, this is where she dies.
Yeah.
So finally he says, why don't you just go home? Just stay here and it'll be okay. But she's a soldier. She's got to do it.
And exactly what he says is going to happen.
Happens. Yep. There is a mimic 20 yards from here. And the second you fire that thing up, you're going to die.
Yeah.
because it has happened repeatedly.
Now, remind me, so does he doesn't actually go out here. Does the next time that he goes out, does he go out by himself?
Yes, so the next time he wakes up, he finally decides, he's tried
I've got
every
enough
single
knowledge.
version of this day with her.
Yeah.
And he cannot get her beyond this point.
Because she's the one who is causing them to wake up at the farmhouse whenever she starts up the helicopter.
Yes, so he has determined that if he goes on by himself at this point, she'll be dead.
He's got enough knowledge, he's got enough skill, and enough whatever, that he can make this trek by himself.
So he basically just makes a choice to not bring her along, because that's one he hadn't tried yet.
Right.
And we get that scene where he kind of goes off and sulks, and we find out that they're invading London. These aliens are taking over while everybody's on the beach because they knew what was going to happen.
Yep.
And so he dies there. And then the next time he goes out, he just goes by himself, and he makes it all the way to Germany.
Yeah, he makes it all the way to the dam. He infiltrates the dam, gets in there, and he finds out, actually, the Omega's not here.
Yeah.
And there's actually another Alpha there who has basically instructed the rest of the fodder enemies to not kill him.
Yep.
Because they know what's happening.
They know what he is.
Yeah.
And they know what's inside of him.
Yep. And he's about to shoot himself in the head, and they prevent him from doing that, and he bleeds. That what they want him to do is bleed out.
Yes, because it's all about the blood.
Yeah, if all of the aliens, speaking of vampire movies, Jesus, we keep talking about blood.
We're really into blood right now, I guess.
But they try to make him bleed out. They don't do it. He somehow gets away, and
he drowns.
He ends up drowning, which, hey, that's another way of dying.
Yep. And he goes back and he tells them that whole thing was a ruse. Right. They planted this image. Yes. They're toying with us.
These visions are fake.
So what do we go? Where do we go from here? And there's like a little mad scientist dude, who was the one person. Again, they kind of explained it away. Oh, he's like an astrophysicist, molecular biologist, like super smart dude who's now a mechanic.
Who everybody thinks is crazy.
Yeah, but he believes them. He's got a replica. Like, what does he have? He has not a replica.
Basically,
he has a prototype.
It is a thing that he can stick into himself and use on the blood to basically get an image, another vision of where this Omega thing is.
It's science, magic, sci-fi gizmo that will move the plot forward.
Right, and they referenced this earlier in the movie. He picks it up and the little spikes come out, and they say, oh, no, never mind that, it doesn't work. Well, okay, you're going to eventually need to use that. This is a goddamn movie. You're not going to spend a second of screen time for this thing that doesn't mean anything.
It means everything, because if they stick it in the Alpha, basically they can connect to the network. Yeah. This thing will connect them to the network.
It hacks them in.
But he has a working prototype, but it is locked up at Whitehall, so at headquarters, basically, where the general is.
Yep.
He has it, but they can't get to it because he's, he's a disgraced scientist.
Yes, so they manage to get out of the FOB somehow. They don't really say how they do that.
Reasons.
Yeah. So they get all the way to where the general is. And again, these are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times that they are doing this that we don't see.
Right. And he says, oh, stay behind me because this guy with the yellow armband always recognizes you. Oh, go to the left, go to the right, twist, move, duck, dive,
again,
dip, dodge.
All of this stuff is like a video game.
Yep.
It's memorizing the exact sequence of events, the scripted sequences that you have to get to in order to have a perfect run.
Oh, I have watched you play so many games where it completely depends on throw this thing over here and then you go to the left and then you get a little farther.
It's like Hitman.
Yep.
Where there is a script happening in the background that you don't see. These guys are going to go on this route and that you just have to be able to catch them on that route and have this sequence of events happen in order to accomplish your goal.
And if you get anything wrong,
you have the whole thing's fucked.
Yep, the whole thing's fucked and you have to go again.
Yes.
Because the game has been designed to screw with you. So yeah, they get in here, they kind of, shimmy to the left, shimmy to the right. They get into the office where the general is, and this is the same day. I don't know if you remember this. So the morning he was in there and zapped to the base, that's the same day that he gets back to this office.
And they dragged him over to the FOB, and that begins the sequence again.
Yep. So he has managed to, in a number of hours, get his ass back to this building.
And recruit your number one soldier and
in the
over
process.
to your side and have her come over there and threaten a general.
And they have done this many times, and he's a stubborn old man.
And I love the little back and forth that they do. It's like, don't shoot him again.
Please, will you just not?
Yes.
And of course, that look on her face, like, how did you know I was going to do that? Oh, wait, yes, now I remember. Like, there's still that, even if you believe him, there's still that human nature where you forget.
And she also has it in her mind, her way of doing things. Like, this is how I would do it, which is why she had the same kind of reasoning to her going into the helicopter. She's going to do it no matter what. You can't tell me otherwise.
But this time they finally convinced the general in enough words to hand over the device. And they're like, what do we do now? And he's like, I don't know. I've never gotten this far. And they go out, and of course, it's the same thing where the general was playing nice at the beginning of the movie and then had him arrested.
Right.
He was playing nice here, lets him get out the door, and then security has been called, and they die on a blaze of gunfire.
But again, they go through the entire sequence again. They are successful this time, and they go out the back instead of the front door.
And she stabs the thing into his leg, and he is, taken over. His eyeballs go black and whatever. And they find out that there is an Omega. It is in the Louvre.
It's underneath the Louvre.
Underneath the Louvre in Paris. So now that's their plan. They have to get there. But before they can do it, they get in a car accident. And the thing that she said was bad that would happen happens. And he passes out, and he wakes up in an army hospital being pumped full of someone else's blood. So he's not going to be able to reset. So, of course, when she shows up, first thing she tries to do is stab him.
So, I'm sorry. Say, wait.
Screaming at him. No, I can't reset. They put me full of blood.
That's the thing. How many times did he actually say that to her to have her just shoot him in the head anyway?
Correct. And maybe this is the first time. Maybe it isn't. We don't know.
Who knows?
I'm assuming this is not, I'm assuming this is the first time. Which is why he has to be like, no. Don't do it. And so they decide to recruit their
J
squad, their J squad. And they go and they tell them everything about themselves.
Yes, he was doing a little bit of reconnaissance while all these things were happening.
He knows everybody's name. He knows where they grew up, what they like to eat, their weird habits, their weird childhood fears. He knows everything about these people their deepest, darkest secrets. Like one of them, they say, your name isn't actually Ford. He was a buddy who died the first day out of battle, and you took his identity, and you've been sending his checks to the family. Like, that is a messed up secret thing that you would have to know somebody really well to get out of them.
In a day.
That is how trustworthy he has managed to become over the course of all these days and doing it again and again and again. He has chosen the right words, the right script.
Dude should have been a psychologist.
Probably. I mean, there is a bit of psychology in advertising. I would be willing to bet those people are kind of cut from the same cloth.
I guess. Knowing how to manipulate someone's emotions.
Exactly. Salespeople, psychologists, admin.
Fuck salesmen.
But they know how to talk to people, and they know how to read people, and they know what to say to get them to do what they want.
Yes. So we get our crew together. They're going to go on this harrowing journey to the Louvre.
But once again, the aliens have figured out they're coming. They don't explain how. We just kind of have to roll with it.
And they basically go through a similar thing where the plane gets shot down, a bunch of them get killed, and we end up with just Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt.
Yeah, he falls into the Seine, and it looks like he's gonna die, but he
Yeah.
manages to wriggle out of his very heavy metal suit.
Yeah, he's able to eject from the suit and get up to the surface, and they meet up together, and they're going to infiltrate the Louvre.
Yep, and everybody, they meet up with their team, but they have to get from where they were to the Louvre, which is God knows how far. And there's 1,000 of these mimics between them and the Louvre.
Right.
So they have to figure out how to get there in a plane that has crashed.
Well, in a plane that will not ever take off.
No, it can't fly.
Yeah, it's just going to be able to like propel them forward and like plow the road in front of them.
They turned it into a boat. And that kind of worked out for them.
for a little while anyway, and more of them die along the way.
Oh yeah, everybody on that team either blows themselves up or gets killed in the process.
Right.
But the two of them manage to get into the Louvre, and they're down there. It's her and him, and he's like, I'm gonna get the Alpha and lure it away.
Right.
And she says, oh hell no, I'm gonna do that. You're gonna kill the Omega.
Right.
Take these bombs.
And she says that I don't expect us to get out of here, buddy. This is the best way to do this.
No, neither of us is getting out of here, she says.
Yeah.
And at this point I was like, oh shit, are we gonna end this movie with death and carnage? Because that would be okay. Like, I actually appreciate some movies where they're not afraid to kill the leads.
Yeah.
I really do. And so she goes off, and she promptly gets killed by the Alpha.
Yeah, she's a distraction for the Alpha so that Tom Cruise can go down into the water.
Yep, it's like way deep because the Louvre is underground. Half of it is down, down.
Sure.
And it's all flooded. So he is like swimming down through, again, twisted metal and cement and stuff. And there it is. It is the real thing.
Yeah.
And he is almost there, but the Alpha catches up with him.
He gets stabbed.
And he gets stabbed.
But before he had a chance to actually die, he had actually already pulled the pins from all of these grenades, and the things fall into the maw of the Omega, and it blows up.
And it blows up. And so this is the thing like in Independence Day where they give it a virus. The whole species now gets a shockwave of...
Everything dies off.
Everything is fucked now. So this is where the turn happens. Now, we didn't talk about it, but of course, before she goes off, she kisses him.
Yeah, I was going to bring this up.
We have to have a kissy-kissy sequence.
No, we don't. No, we really don't. And I think that was fucking forced.
You didn't like that?
I do not like that whatsoever. Your movies do not have to have your two leads here, who just happen to be a male and female, do not have to have a romance whatsoever. I understand that Tom Cruise's character uses whatever he knows about her. He has very intimate knowledge of her. Mm-hmm. And in the day that they were together, he imparted all of this information. And again, it doesn't really work well with the movie because this person, when he meets up with her every single day, she's just a soldier. Even though she has gone through the same kind of sequence as he has. Yes, they share some things, but that is not enough time for you to have that kind of connection and want to kiss a dude.
I don't know. I think if he has collected enough information and he is saying and doing all the right things, it turns into, for her, that kind of love at first sight situation.
Where,
I'm not saying it's valid or necessary.
Person I've known for my entire life. Which, you've spent days and days and days and days together, but you don't know it.
But she mentions earlier in the movie there was another person that she loved, and so she was on the other end of this.
Right, and she said that I've seen this person die 300 times.
Yeah, and I think it basically is she is coming from a different perspective because she has lived it. She is able to have that kind of a connection immediately, because even though she doesn't remember the 300 other times that he has met her, she has had that with somebody else, so she believes it.
Fine. But why does she have to kiss him?
Because if she believes it, she could feel it.
I don't know.
That's all.
I know, and I get it. It's a sentiment that I normally would be able to get behind, but not in this movie.
Okay.
It is not necessarily. It is not earned.
I think if they had done more, like, I don't think there was enough romance in the middle.
No, they're on a mission the entire movie.
And they're giving you little nuggets, like he clearly knows her and he cares about her. But
sure,
I get what you're saying. Like, if they had developed it a little more, like if they had had a cute little scene where they were like giggling or some shit.
Here's how I think it would actually work. If it was just reversed. If he kissed her, I think it would have been more earned and maybe like have a reaction from her. That would have been a better thing.
Yeah, but then it turns into a consent thing because she doesn't know
They're gonna
him.
die anyway, so...
I know, but it's a trope if he's just kissing her and she doesn't know what's going on.
I understand that that's a trope, but it's consent works both ways, Betsy.
Yes.
Her doing that to him still doesn't make it any better. But if you're going to do it on screen, I think with the knowledge that he has in his head, and he's caring about her with all the information that he has gleaned throughout the rest of the movie, it makes a lot more sense for him to be the sacrificial person. I say, I'm going to kiss you now because of the things I have in my head. And she can be like, oh, this person that I know very little about. Clearly, him and I had a connection throughout all these times that he's run through this.
Right, but then there's other movies where they do that and he gets slapped. So that's
but
the
it
trope.
Wouldn't happen in this movie, though.
I just think, I think we're kind of on the same wavelength in that it could have worked. They were missing just a little bit of development in the middle. If we had had a little more development in the middle, the kiss at the end, no matter if it's her or him initiating it, would have made more sense.
I agree.
I think we're on the same page about that. I think it's just the execution of it where it's like, I just wanted a little bit more because right now it just feels like the movie trope of they have to kiss now.
Yeah, and that's stupid. That's fucking stupid. I hate that. No. You do not get to do that unless you are earning it.
Okay, it felt unearned. The long and short is it was unearned.
Yes, we agree on that, guys.
Okay.
We agree on that.
But yeah, so they accomplish their mission. She's dead. He's dying. They blow up the Omega. They blow up the Alpha.
And somehow this goo gets on him and like grabs onto him. And then he wakes up again.
But he doesn't wake up the same day.
No.
He does wake up the same day.
Yeah.
But he wakes up on the helicopter, which is where we found him at the very beginning of the movie.
That
so
brought
it
him
predates it.
to go and meet the general, yeah.
Yes. And he's obviously very confused, and they land, and they have this, like, again, news story in the background saying there was a shockwave in London, or in Paris,
underneath Paris,
me.
Yep.
We don't know what it is, but the enemy is very, like complacent.
All of
they're all backing up and putting up no resistance.
Where all of these troops are, like, approaching, like, they're all, like, there's other divisions of the military
forces coming in.
Yeah, coming in to more of Europe to have the big ass battle, and they're getting no resistance. There's no enemies left. Right,
because they basically have destroyed the mothership, as it were. There's nobody giving orders.
Right.
And, so he's just like, wow, okay, this is weird. And he goes and he finds her.
So here's the thing, though. They introduced this concept, and it's a very kind of a throwaway thing that Bill Paxton says. They say, this FOB is on lockdown, which is to say no communications out and no communications in, which is why you see J-Squad doing their drill still. They don't know that there's no more enemy left.
Well, because they're still going out there. The mission is still on.
The mission is still on, but they don't know that there's no enemy left because the communications haven't come through yet. There is an enemy,
but they don't know that they're going to be running for the hills. Because why would you tell them
that? And I don't even know if the enemies are actually still alive.
Well, they say they're not meeting any resistance because
they're
just
means that
soldiers. the mimics that are left, this alien race that is left, they're all the worker bees. They only follow orders, and there's nobody giving them orders. Alternatively, think of it this way. By killing the alpha at the beginning of the movie, he became the alpha. That is why he is the one resetting things.
I guess, yeah.
By the end of the movie, he became the Omega, meaning he's the one calling the shots, meaning the entire alien race is at his beck and call now.
Well, they don't actually say any of that.
They don't say it, but that is the implication.
You could infer that, yes.
By what is happening here, because he is getting the blood, or whatever you want to call it, on him when he is under there. And he is not dead yet. He is dying, but he is not dead. And when he kills the Omega.
Sure.
And they show he is very much still alive. And then he wakes up when he wants to in this sequence.
I guess.
So they don't really say it, but that is my interpretation of how this movie ends, is that he is now the Omega. He is the one commanding the neural network of this alien race, which is why they are not putting up a fight. He is deciding to call the shots, even consciously or not. He is now the Omega.
I get what you're saying. So you're implying that these enemies, the mimics, are actually all still alive.
Yes.
They're just kind of dormant. They're not doing anything.
Basically, because they're not being told to attack, because he would not tell them to do that.
Okay.
He is telling them, we're done now.
Okay.
So
I'm
they're all going to just be destroyed.
Okay, I get that.
If the army attacks them.
I'm choosing to believe here that when the Omega is destroyed, all of them die.
They flat out say that they don't die, though. They have said that at the end of the movie.
All they say is
Brendan
that
Gleeson
they are not meeting any kind of resistance. It doesn't mean that they're all dead. It doesn't mean that they're just standing around.
They don't say one way or another, but I don't think they're all dead.
I'm choosing to believe the other way.
I think that he doesn't come out and say all of the aliens are dead. We don't know why.
No.
He says there's a power surge in Paris.
Also, a military man wouldn't do that.
Nobody is reacting.
Yeah.
So they're all just sitting there dormant, basically.
I get what you're saying.
I'm going to disagree with you on this point. They are not all dead. They just are not being commanded to do anything.
You're inferring a lot from very little information.
Because I am a student of film and I know how these things work. Sometimes you are not told, you are shown, and you are supposed to come to your own conclusion. And it's rational. It is logical. If the whole point of this movie is blood gets on you, you inherit his skill.
Yeah.
And you will have it until your blood is changed out. At the end of it, he gets the blood on him from the other one.
I get it. You don't have to keep on saying it.
Why wouldn't it make sense that he is now calling the shots, which is why the enemy is not doing anything?
I get what you're saying. I
But
don't
they're not
necessarily
dead.
agree.
How would they die? Explain how they would all be dead.
Well, the only time that we actually see them after Omega is destroyed is right afterwards, when they're all kind of falling out of the sky.
Right, but that is what happens before he wakes up. So they basically are getting, it's like restarting a computer.
But you also don't see him control any of them
As I
either.
said, if it's conscious or not, this is what I think is happening. And I think you are fundamentally misinterpreting the facts.
All right, we're going to agree to disagree here.
Fine, you bastard. Well, there's kind of a lot of little moments in this movie. So to wrap this up, was there anything else that you wanted to specifically bring up? Any weird little moments that you thought were funny, or anything we haven't already talked about?
You know, I don't think so, because I went through my list here while we're talking, and we covered everything. I didn't even look at my notes throughout the entirety of this podcast, so I didn't really make a whole lot of them. It's just more the sequence of events and making sure that we got it all. But yeah, I mean, it's all pretty self-explanatory.
And I think this is one where because they're doing the same thing over and over again, it's better to just watch it and experience it.
Sure.
And see what we're talking about when we say, this is funny. And when they do that, that's funny. And
yeah,
just
all
to
of the
see
different
how it
references
unfolds.
and like him like remembering all of the different facts and him coming in and being all suave and charming, being his Tom Cruise self.
Yep. But yeah, I think I would recommend seeing this movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this one. I'm glad we finally watched it because it's only
Jeez.
8 years after the fact.
Seriously. Like after we kind of heard what the movie was about, where it's like it's taking this time loop concept and applying it to sci-fi, and I didn't even know there was fucking aliens. I had no idea there was aliens.
You could have inferred that, but no, I don't even remember like a trailer where they specifically use the word.
And I wouldn't have known this was on Earth.
Nope.
So whatever. But no, I agree. I like this movie. I would recommend it to people, especially for those people who are like us, and we like a good time loop movie. We like video games and things like that. So.
Absolutely. So I think that's going to be it for this movie. But we've got a couple of emails today.
Yeah, we got a little short one from Stephanie, and we got a question. So we're going to cover both of them here. The first one from Stephanie is a shorty about Total Recall, the Schwarzenegger movie we just watched a couple episodes ago. So, from Stephanie, Total Recall. Very fun movie. I love a good twisty sci-fi movie. It was a dream. So yeah, she's on my side. It was all a dream.
And that is, again, an interpretation of that movie. And I think we agree more on that one than we do on this one.
It's not often Betsy and I can come to an impasse here where we are just not going to agree on something, and that's okay.
That is the joy of filmmaking, because sometimes that's the intention, is
Maybe.
The director, the screenwriter, they want you to question what the hell you just watched.
Right, and you're also meant to question what happens after the fact. Mm-hmm. Because what I think is happening, he is going there to announce to the entire FOB that the war is over. Period. Because he is still an officer in the military. He's a major, so he's going to go in and announce to all of the grunts that, hey guys, you don't actually have to go out there and battle anymore.
Anyway, we're not talking more about that, but the same sort of thing happened in Total Recall. And thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. All right, so the next one is from Danny. Full disclosure, Danny is one of Betsy's brothers.
It's true.
So, from Danny, question. Hello to my favorite cinephiles. I have thoroughly enjoyed the journey that you have been taking us on with all of the movies that you haven't seen, but I want to switch things up with a question.
Okay.
What movie have you seen the most times? I am obviously not expecting a full podcast on this. Just curious what the answers might be. With my insider knowledge of Betsy's youth, I'm thinking it either has to be Evita or Moulin Rouge. No idea about Trent, but it's probably something cool from the 90s. I think mine is probably either Back to the Future or Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. If those are ever on TV, I'm watching. Looking forward to your answers, from Danny.
Thank you, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
So your assumption, I think, is probably wrong. Those are two movies I have watched many, many times, but I would say we're hitting maybe the low double digits. Mm-hmm. If I were a betting woman, maybe like
teens, less than 20,
maybe 20 in the case of those two movies.
Okay,
it's easy to lose track. However,
can I guess?
Okay, Okay, Trent has some guesses. What do you think I have watched the most times?
I mean, the cliche answer is the original The Mummy.
The Mummy from 1999.
Yes.
I would say that is up there.
Yeah.
I would absolutely say
top
that's
5,
up there.
Top 3?
Oh, gosh. Certainly top 5.
Okay.
I went through a period where that movie would be on every day, or once a week. Like when it came out in the early aughts and I had a copy of it, I would watch it all the time. All the time. Weirdly, there's certain movies like that where when I had the setup and the physical medium and we didn't have all these streaming options, you didn't go and seek out new things. You watched what you had.
Right.
So I spent a lot of time rewatching it because I loved it so much. Like, that is a movie I can do like 90% of the dialogue. Mm-hmm. Like, genuinely.
I've experienced this.
Genuinely. So I would say that is one of them, certainly.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any other guesses?
No, that was just my knee-jerk reaction.
That's your knee-jerk. Okay. So some of the other ones that come to mind immediately are the 1994 Winona Ryder version of Little Women.
Okay.
Because that, for a long time, has been the movie I watch when I'm sick or when I'm sad.
All right.
So there's like two very niche times that I watch it.
Bessie's been sick and sad a lot in her life.
And then sometimes I just watch it because it's just a lovely movie. You've not seen this one yet.
I've not seen that version, no.
But it's just one of those that I saw when I was like 9 years old when it came out. Mm-hmm. So I've had a lot of years to watch it.
Yeah. And I would say based on the newest one that came out, my description of it when I saw that, it was a pleasant movie.
It is a pleasant movie. And there's a ton of other ones. Anything that is older that I've had more time to consume, you can bet I've seen a lot. Like Danny pointed out, Indiana Jones, I have seen Last Crusade and Raiders of the Lost Ark innumerable times. Back to the Future, I don't know how many times I've seen that. I've seen it a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know, the old musicals, like The Sound of Music, I've seen a bunch of times. Anything that I had when I was a kid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, the stuff that was on in our house, because I'd watch it and then my brother would watch it and then my other brother would watch it, and it'd be on 4 times in the same day.
And you guys had a lot more tapes than I ever did.
Yeah.
Like my parents, so let's just go. Have you said your answer?
Yeah, I think those are my answers. There's probably a lot more, but it's a small handful. When we talk about The Mummy, I would say I've seen The Mummy well over 50 times.
Okay.
50, guys.
So
plus
switching to me, I didn't really have a lot of tapes growing up. We didn't rent a lot of movies. I certainly didn't go to the theater a whole lot. My family was not much into movies. We were into TV.
Fair enough.
But we also did have cable, and we did have a few tapes. So my answer to this is going to be more when I was a kid and as an adult. Mm-hmm. So as a kid, I think the movies that I watched the most were the ones that we actually had. So, and I think we've even had this conversation before. But the things that come to mind are a movie like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yeah.
I have seen Mrs. Doubtfire so many goddamn times.
On TV, at people's houses,
yes,
by yourself.
It is a movie that my folks, my family, really enjoyed. It actually introduced a lot of concepts to me. Like,
I think a lot of people
it
did. Yeah. In the early, mid-90s.
Yeah. The concept of being gay is a concept introduced to me in that movie. When I was that age, I didn't know what they meant when they said Uncle Frank and Aunt Jack.
Aunt Jack in
particular. It's like, no, that's a man. He's not Aunt. I have an aunt. She's a lady.
Right.
Yeah, that entire that dynamic, that different language, just kind of was weird in my brain for a while.
It went in and went out again, and you didn't really understand it.
Until I put more pieces together of that whole puzzle, did I understand, oh, that's a different kind of a lifestyle.
Yep.
I didn't think it was bad. It wasn't told to me that it was bad.
But they weren't outrightly saying to you what is going on here.
Because this is still a family movie. It's a kids movie. And speaking of another family movie, kids movie, that is not a kids movie. It's Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yes. I also saw that a lot as a kid.
That movie...
Children shouldn't watch that. Or maybe they should.
Or maybe they should. It didn't affect me much. Or did it? I don't know. But yeah, I watched that movie so many times just because we had it. And the interactivity of real humans and cartoon characters in the real world, I think was just such a new novel concept for me.
And it's really executed well.
It's so good. It's so good. And all of the different effects tricks that they had to do to make that movie work is incredible.
So what you're saying is when the local theater is showing Who Framed Roger Rabbit, you want to go see that with me? Because I can make that happen.
Maybe. So, switching gears to being, as an adult, the movies I have seen the most. I can't really think of just one movie in particular that I have seen the most, but the ones that come to mind right off the bat are V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Because Betsy and I have a tradition. We're going to watch V for Vendetta on the 5th of November every single year.
And we've done it every year we've been together.
We have never not done it. So that's at least 11 times right there. But all of the other times, because I saw V for Vendetta in the theater when it was brand new. And then in between when I saw it in the theater and we were together, I probably saw it, probably 10 times maybe.
Yep.
So it's been at least 20 times I've seen it.
Double digits, certainly.
Yeah. So then we get into some other stuff like I watched Scott Pilgrim vs. the World quite a few times, and Betsy was the one who introduced me to that. I love that movie.
Yep.
It's also one of these movies that I can just start in the middle, and I don't have to see the entire thing. Because maybe I just want to see one sequence or... Yeah, but I also do that with a lot of movies in general.
You do. Like, we've watched part of Happy Gilmore like 3 times this year.
Yeah. So, like, stuff from the 90s, not as much because, again, I didn't watch a lot of movies.
You have a little bit of a blind spot.
I do, and that's kind of the reason why we're doing this podcast. So, the stuff from the 90s that I remember is the stuff from my childhood. Mrs. Doubtfire. We mentioned Major Payne earlier in the show. I didn't watch that movie that much. The Mask, the original Jim Carrey, The Mask. 101 Dalmatians.
The cartoon or the
cartoon?
Okay.
Yes, that I didn't see the Glenn Close one until I was with you.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm so glad I've come into your life to help you on this journey, Trent.
Me too. But as far as like some others, it would be like Inglourious Bastards. Mm-hmm. Some of the Marvel movies, like we love Thor Ragnarok.
You've watched Margin Call a lot of times now.
Margin Call.
We keep bringing... The ones you guys have heard us talk about a lot, those are the ones we watch a lot.
The Big Short.
Yep.
Yep.
There's a lot. There's a lot of movies that I would say, if you don't watch the whole thing, you certainly just put it on a lot and watch a little bit of it.
I work from home, so I have a personal computer off to the side with a couple of monitors that I can just throw something on while I'm working. Those are the types of movies that I will just throw on because I know what it's about. I just want to have it kind of going on.
You can hear it. You're not really watching it.
Right. But the actual answer to this is one that we've actually mentioned before. The answer is Shrek. The original Shrek.
Oh, yes.
That's
I know this
the
story.
real answer. And if you haven't heard the story, this is a short version of it. In high school, when I worked at Kmart, I worked in the electronics section, and we had a DVD player hooked up to all the TVs back there. And we had the disc of Shrek hooked up to the DVD player, and it played on repeat over and over and over and over again.
So figure a 6-hour shift. 3 times at least it plays. Times every shift.
Little 16, 17-year-old me watching, or not, I wouldn't say I watched it. I experienced it through audio.
It was always there.
It was always
being
on
absorbed
in the background, just through osmosis. I watched that movie hundreds of times, probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe it, though.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are a couple of answers. I think it's a big question that has a lot of answers.
I cannot give a definitive answer to either era of my life.
I don't keep track, and after a certain point, you stop knowing the answer to that question. There are so many movies I've seen in the double digits because I like movies. Yeah. I cannot help it.
And I can't answer the question about, like, what video games have I played the most?
Oh, hell
I don't know.
No.
I honestly don't know. I can give you a list just like I just did about movies, but I could probably tell you which game I put the most time into, and it's one we mentioned earlier.
But yeah, that's an interesting question, and I think we'd like to hear from some of you. What is your answer to that question?
Yeah.
What movie have you watched more times than you can count? What's the one that is your comfort film?
And why?
Your favorite crap movie because you can't help but enjoy it.
What's the movie you want that you show people?
Yeah. When you're trying to tell people you gotta watch this movie, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
What disc have you lent out to people?
Yes.
More often than not.
So we want to hear from you.
Yes, please email us, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter, neverseenit_pod. You can support the show by clicking the link in the podcast description to throw us $1. Please also subscribe to the show on your podcast app of choice. Give us a review on there on the iTunes and the Spotifys and all the other stuff. Share us with your friends if there's an episode that your friend would absolutely enjoy. Copy the link, send it to them that way. Introduce us to all your damn friends.
All your damn friends. But in the meantime, this has been Never Seen It, and this is the end of this episode. So thank you so much for listening. I have been Betsy.
And I'm Trent.
And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.